Konnichiwa! Well, it wouldn't be a month of the year if we weren't announcing a brand new Sega Genesis and Sega Mega Drive game coming out. That's right, there's a new game coming out in 2021 and it's an action platformer. Stick around as we check out this brand new game. My name's Mike and this is the Retro Gamer Boy Show. Before we get into this week's show, if you could leave a like and a comment about this video, that will trigger the little people inside the YouTube box to run around and share this video with everyone that loves the Sega Genesis and Mega Drive. I want to start off by saying thank you to 8-Bit Boy UK for putting me onto this brand new game, and to the development team for answering all our questions that we have about their brand new game. And the game that we're going to be taking a look at today is Eyra The Crow Maiden. Now, Eyra The Crow Maiden was originally a brand new NES game and it was crowdfunded on Kickstarter. Now, part of the Kickstarter stretch goals is that they would bring Eyra to the 16-bit consoles, onto the Mega Drive, the Genesis and the Super Nintendo. Now, that was successfully funded and massively so, and so all the stretch goals were achieved. Now, if you want the game now, you can play it on the Nintendo Entertainment System, but needless to say, the 16-bit has a number of upgrades, and the team have said that that should be ready in about 6 to 8 weeks, and then after that they'll be sending out copies to backers. That will be another 2 weeks, and then I'm guessing it will be open to general distribution after that, and we'll put some links in the description below on where you can buy this game. Now, one of the developers, Jav, I'm butchering the name here, had a concept for a really ambitious title, but that was too ambitious, and so he decided to bring it back down and make a Game Boy game. And as they were going through and generating the assets, the team decided to make this into a NES game. The game was inspired by games like Rastan, Conan the Barbarian, Sword and Sorcery and Castlevania, and you can see those games' influence in the NES footage here. Things that really stands out for me in this game is the soundtrack. They've really captured that high fantasy Dungeons and Dragons heroic theme tune. It's just brilliant. It helps really settle you into the universe that the team are creating. For me, this game reminds me of some of the early Amiga games. Visually quite striking, more cartoony, a lot of colours in there, but relatively simple level layout. The team use a lot of parallax scrolling and there's some decent enemies in there. I love the anime styling for the main character Eyra. It's a little bit cutesy, but at the same time it fits in with the rest of the world. Now the animation isn't overly complex, neither are the projectiles, and you get the same with the foreground and background graphics. None of them are overly complicated, but at the same time they're all really well done. They all sit well together and it makes for a coherent visual experience. Now in terms of gameplay, Eyra does have a lot of the standard tropes we find with action platformers. You can jump, you can duck, and you can move left and right along the screen. But there's depth built into the mechanics of this game. For instance, the weapon system. As you go throughout the levels, you'll be able to pick up different weapons. These will upgrade your attacks and your range of attacks. You go from a dagger to a sword to an axe. Now if you get hit at any one point or die, you lose those items. So if you get hit and you've got the axe, you go back to the sword. If you get hit again, then you go back to the dagger. Now if you die, like you fall down a chasm, you miss a platform, you hit a spike and you're out, you do restart the level and there are checkpoints, but you start back all the way at the beginning with just your dagger. You also have a limited special move, and that is your crow that flies along with you. Now you can send your crow out to attack bad guys at a greater distance. This means you've got like essentially a projectile. Now you can replenish that special crow attack by collecting seeds, and you find seeds by killing other crows and bad guys. Now, other crows that you find along the level are essentially the Mario question box. You hit them and there'll be something that falls out of it. It can be coins, it can be seeds, and sometimes it can be items as well. As you go through these levels, you're not just trying to get from A to B, you also have to find several prisoners along the way. Think Metal Slug with the prisoners of war. You go past them, you collect them, and they cheer and off they run. Now, in this game, they don't run off, but they say thanks and you move along. And from what I can see from the demo, you have to collect all of these prisoners as you go throughout the level, and that will allow you to complete it, which could make for some really interesting mechanics where you're having to go forwards, then backwards, then forwards again. You could do a lot with the level design by using this system. Now the game is similar, but not exactly the same as the original NES game that's just been released. There are some differences and additions to the Mega Drive and Genesis versions. For the start, there'll be 2 new levels that you don't get in the NES version. One new level is going to be completely unique to the Sega Genesis and Mega Drive. The other will be shared between the Super Nintendo and the Mega Drive versions. Equally, there is also going to be an auto-scrolling vehicle level as well. I'm hoping it's horses or chariots or some kind of mythical beast. That would be awesome. Now, like with all new games coming out on the Sega Genesis and Mega Drive, Eyra The Crow Maiden has a small team behind it. About 7 people in total have crossed all of the platforms developing this game out. And as always, I am super positive to see these games being developed for this console. A console that hasn't seen a Sega published title in decades. Suddenly, we're getting tens of games a year. I mean, it's almost like living back in the 90s at the height of the success of our 16-bit console. Now, if you want to support this title, the campaign has already finished. It's already funded, so low risk for us. But you can buy the title when it comes out, like I said, in about 6-8 weeks' time when they'll finish this. So give it 3 months and you'll be able to purchase it. I will put a link in the description below, and in there you can see a shop where you can pre-order the game. So you'll be able to have this game this year in your 16-bit console.
Thank you.
So what do you think of Eyra The Crow Maiden? Is it something that you're really excited about, or is it something that you'd give a miss? Make sure you leave a like and a comment below to let us know what you think of this game. If you're new to this channel and you like what you've seen in this show, then why not consider subscribing? You can do this by clicking on a little button just below this video. And every Monday we put out a brand new show. And if you never want to miss this, then you can click on the little bell which is also below the video. And if you can't wait until Monday, then don't worry, we've got a huge back catalogue of retro gaming videos, 2 of which you can find over here.